This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined today down at Peacock's gym by the beast from the east, Mr. Anthony Yarde. How are you, Anthony?
Lions in the camp. No, we're good. It's a good time right now.
Why is it a good time right now, as opposed to any other time?
Because I'm alive. I'm happy. Just had my coffee. So yeah, it's a good time right now.
Been a while since I spoke to you. I think the last time I caught up with you was a couple of months ago. I was just talking to Tunde about it for nearly an hour. What have you been up to? So what's been happening the last couple of months?
Holiday, training. Not much really. Just living life, trying to stay as happy as I can. I feel like everyone's goal in life is to be as happy as they can, or happy in their own skin. So that's what I'm focused on.
Tell me a little bit about your holiday, because when I was speaking to Tunde, he told me that you went on holiday to Atlantic City to watch Bivol and Kovalev. Was that a holiday?
100%. Especially for me. With Tunde, originally, Tunde was going to go out there. When he said to me, I looked at him in his pupil and I said, I'm coming. And then literally, one of my friends as well, he's off of work right now, so he said, I'm coming. So literally, if it wasn't a holiday, my friend wouldn't come. So literally, my friend came with me. But again, we're still motivated. We're not slacking in any area. So we got some training in out there at Danny Garcia's gym, which was a good experience as well. He's got a very, very big fight coming up. But yeah, literally, even me going to the boxing show, I was going there as a boxing fan. I wanted to see a good boxing show. The two world title fights that were happening on that night happened to be in my weight class. So yeah, it was entertaining night of boxing.
That's something that I spoke to Tunde about, because you could have gone on holiday anywhere in the world, yet you ended up at a fight with two of the champions in your division. Tunde says you're not there looking at opponents. I don't believe him. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is just literally the hardest scenario planned out was Tunde was going there. For whatever reasons he was going there. I didn't even ask him. I said I'm coming. Literally, because that was the thing. We was even talking about going on holiday anyway, to like Spain or something, somewhere close. But at the same time being able to like get a little couple training sessions and etc. So it just planned that. Happened to be New Jersey, America. I've never been there before. Close to Philadelphia. Always wanted to go there, never been there before. So it all just planned that.
What did you make of the fights? Assuming that you took them in, you're not just there on holiday, you are there to watch the fights. What did you make of them? First of all, obviously Kovalev lost his title. Dmitry Bivol, who Tunde was very positive in his assessment of him. What are your thoughts on it? What did you make of the whole evening?
The whole evening, again, it was a decent show. A lot of the fights were entertaining. It was very Russian, Kazakhstani based. Again, they're good fighters. You know, it was entertaining out of boxing. Some good knockouts we saw as well. The upset with Kovalev, again, it was exciting seeing it. I thought Kovalev was winning the fight. It was just one of them nights. I would just say it was an entertaining night of boxing. Bivol, I thought like he performed well. I'll be honest with you, I was so tired, yeah, when I went to the fight. I fell asleep at ringside in front of everyone during the Bivol fight. Not because it was a boring fight, I was just so tired. And then the Kovalev fight come on, literally in between that gap between them two coming on, I had to go and get a coffee. Went and got a coffee, and then literally I walked in on the second round of the Kovalev fight. From what I saw, he was winning the fight, and then he got clipped, he got caught with a shot. The guy finished him off very well.
Now that was a fight that was, I mean, the last time we sat down we were speaking about this. The Kovalev fight, the Artur Beterbiev fights were fights that were offered to you and you've gone your own direction. Now that you've seen Kovalev has been dethroned, Frank Warren mentioned something about Kovalev was there for the taking, Tunde agreed. Is there any element of you as the fighter that kind of looks at that and thought, that could have been me in there?
No, because I believe that it's not time yet. Yes, there's opportunities, but what I truly believe in is that people jump at opportunities just because they're there. I feel that they're called opportunists. If you're confident in what you're doing, you know when the right opportunity is there. You know, there could be an opportunity to rob a bank. It don't mean that that's the right opportunity to take. There could be an opportunity to enter a job, a very good job. For me, that would be the right opportunity to take. So again, these two particular fights, at this time in my career wasn't the right opportunities to take up on. So I'm no opportunist. I believe in what I'm doing. I'm confident in what I'm doing. And again, how I'm doing things, I'm still just trying to motivate the next generation coming up. And I keep telling these young kids, believe in yourself. You can. Tunde keeps saying it, dream it, believe it, become it. And that's a powerful saying. You know, if you dream it and you believe it, you can become it. Like it's not no abracadabra. It's no magic trick. It's just plain common sense. So I believe in what I'm doing. I'm going at my own pace. People keep failing to understand why my management and promoter are moving me at this rate. In boxing terms, they're moving me very fast. In terms of how much amateur experience I've had, etc., they're moving me fast. But in terms of my performances, they've got no choice but to move me at a bit of a quicker rate. So that's why I've got a number 1 ranking with the WBO, and I've got a high ranking in the world with all the boxing sanctions. So I can only just thank God, and that's come from literally a lot of hard work, dedication, and good performances. It's what people fail to understand. You don't get into these positions by fighting nobodies. They might be not a name in England, but they've got good rankings. They've never been knocked out before. They fought world champions and never been stopped. They've been in close decisions against higher ranked guys. People just don't understand the game of boxing.
Admirable. We'll come on to that shortly. From a fighter's point of view, and now I understand that what you've just said is very much related to management, promotional point of view. From a fighter's point of view, this is something that we've spoken about in the past. What are your thoughts on first of all, the Kovalev fight? This is something that I asked Tunde about. He said a very similar thing to you, and I asked him what would have happened if Anthony Yarde was in the ring with Sergey Kovalev that night. I'm not going to tell you what he said. You'll have to log into Boxing Social later to watch it. But what would have happened had you been in the ring with Kovalev that night? Do you feel that you would have been able to beat him?
I feel like, and this is me again, I'm not being braggadocious or arrogant, cocky in the slightest. I'm just I'm a confident individual. And my confidence comes from how hard I work and, you know, God and belief. So again, I'm not saying that I can go in there and knock out any light heavyweight in the world, but I feel like I have the beating of any light heavyweight in the world. So I'm a confident individual. Anyone that's put in the ring with me, I believe that I'm beating them. So whether it's Kovalev, even though he's got all this experience and he's got this big name in boxing, again, I believe it would have been the same. I would have probably stopped him. I would have won the fight. Again, I'm not calling out Kovalev. I got offered to fight him. My team decided to not take the fight right now because once you become world champion, there's no going backwards. You know, you're a world champion now. You fight the best people in the world. And again, I don't feel like you learn as much as you should fighting the best people in the world. You end up in wars, you know, whereas if you do your homework, you don't go into an exam, your GCSEs, without revising. So again, right now I'm doing my revision. It's because it's all about stages. You want to finally take that exam in a world title fight or becoming one of the best fighters in the world. It's all about getting to levels, and you need to go to college, school, university to get your degree to actually pass. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just learning, you know, progressing, doing the best I can in the ring.
How beneficial was it for you to be over in New Jersey I mean, admittedly you fell asleep, but how beneficial was it for you to see your Bivols, see your Kovalevs, to see your Alvarez's, new champion, up close and to get that real first eye look at those guys?
Again, it's very important. Sometimes, you know, negative things can come from surprises. You know, when you're not expecting something, when you're not prepared for something. So when you're surprised with something, it's lack of preparation. So seeing it with my own eyes, again, from the first 2 rounds, I was like, Uncle was just looking at me and saying, "Ant, in my opinion, you could beat these guys now." But it's not about that. It's not about going in there and, you know, a lot of people on the internet or people, observers, will say Anthony's not ready. They will say Anthony's got no defence. Anthony's power ain't as much as they say it is. Anthony needs to work on this. Anthony needs to work on that. So, looking from the outside, people will say I've got stuff to work on. I will always say I've got stuff to work on. No matter how well my career goes, no matter how well I do, I will always say I've got stuff to work on because I'm one of the people, I'm trying to seek progression all the time. That's how you elevate. So there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people that are positive. You need to focus on yourself and what you're doing. That's what I always tell people. Stop focusing on people that don't matter or things that don't matter. You know, and negative opinions don't matter. So that's why I'm so literally just driven, and you always see me smiling and laughing because I'm just happy with the people I've got around me, what I'm doing, and that's what I'm trying to feed off to other people.
No, I understand that. But having been around you for I don't know how many times or for how long, I've had the privilege to speak to you off camera. I've seen you when we've sat down. You're somebody who is very cool, very calm, very collected. But there is also another side to you. Fighters, they're very different people to somebody like me. You have that lion, that inner fighter in you. When you hear naysayers, when you hear people say these things, I don't buy that you just don't care. I'm sorry. How much does it play on your mind? And you know, is there any element of you that does get frustrated, that does think, look, I know what I am, I know what I can do? And it's not to say that you would go against the words of your team, obviously not. But how frustrated do you get, and how much do you want to prove to these people that you are what you know you are? You are that what what you profess to be.
0.0.0.00. It like right now it doesn't affect me. It don't change the way I'm doing anything. It don't play on my mind because this is something again you go through life and you learn experiences. When I first started boxing, I decided I wanted to start boxing. Quite a few people said to me, "No, don't do that. You don't need to go into boxing. You're a pretty boy. You're gonna. I was gonna swear. You're gonna mess up your good looks. You're gonna get hit in your face. Like, look at this negative outcome. Look at this negative outcome. It was all negative. How old are you now? Oh, you're 19. It's too late to start boxing. So much negatives came from me just saying, you know, I'm gonna decide to be a proper boxer, go professional, gonna be like world champion, best in the world. When I said these things, a lot of people that were close to me, people that were distant, some professionals. What are you doing? Don't do this. Go and do modelling. Go and do this. Just go and get a good job. Go into another sport. Boxing's bad. So if I listened to them people then, or I was influenced by them people, and I wasn't stubborn and only focused on the positive things, I would not be sitting here talking to you. I would just be another statistic on the street, or I would be working a 9-to-5 job unhappy, because I wasn't happy when I was doing like 9-to-5 jobs. I would just be unhappy. But now I'm happy, so I've learned from them experiences. I said, Ant, you don't ever focus on anything someone says to you that's negative. Some people give advice. Some people, they're not even coming from a negative place when they say something. They genuinely have got your best interest. They, in their mind, though, they can't see what you can see. They can't comprehend your thoughts or your beliefs, what you think you can become. They can't even think past 1 + 1. They can't think past it, so you can't blame them for that. You just got to focus on your own self, your gut instinct, and literally leave it as that. So when I'm saying lions in the camp, there is a lion in there. People that know me from back in the day, they've always said I've had that channeled aggression. It was less channeled before, but I have got that channeled aggression. And at no point would I focus on any negativity. And at no point am I trying to prove anyone else wrong. I'm only trying to prove myself. You know how it goes. Big ads in the camp, lions in the camp. I'm only trying to prove myself right, and I'm trying to thank God for what He's blessed me with. And I think you thank God with hard work, using the attributes that He's given you, using the opportunity He's given you. So that's what I focus on, positivity.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm of the opinion that certainly some sections of people who you may see as being negative with regards to your matchmaking and so on and so forth, I think that it comes from an element of people wanting to see just how good you are. Now, I don't necessarily think that people... I mean, there are certain people who call themselves boxing fans who may have certain views, but I think a large percentage of people just want to see you tested. They want to know how good you are. Is there any element of you that wants to show those people how good you are now? So not from a negative point of view.
Always. Literally, but I think that all comes with timing. If you rush, yeah, so let's say you just, like, if put it this way, I believe in nature and how the world is. It just is, whether people like it or not. There's a nature to the world, yeah, and that's if you're walking at a steady pace, yeah, you know where you're going. So I'm walking to the train station from here, and I'm walking at a nice pace. If there's a step on the floor, yeah, I'm more likely to see that step over it, or worst comes to worst, I trip on that step, I might not fall on the floor because I'm going at a steady pace. If I sprint to the train station because I'm in a rush or I'm late, and then I might not see this step on the floor, and if I trip over that, I'm falling on the floor and hurting myself because I'm not going at the right time or the right pace. I'm rushing. So right now, I'm at that stage where I'm going at a steady pace. I'm not trying to be rushing and stumbling or seeing anything and not being ready for anything like that. I'm going at a steady pace, and in my opinion, there's no rush. But when the time does come, it's lions in the camp. It's we don't get weak, we get deep. It's turn up, show up, blow up. It's dream it, believe it, become it. And again, everything is timing. That's what it is. And literally, even for me, yeah, this thing, lions in the camp, yeah, people feel it. A lot of people feel it because, I don't know if it's the way I say it or what, yeah, but lions in the camp, it comes from something deep within you. Like, it's like everyone gets that thing where they need to just have a little outburst. I went to the zoo the other day, and I was shouting lions in the camp. I was making lion noises, and in my opinion, the lion was looking at me. So literally, and there's a lot of kids now that are saying lions in the camp. And I can see it in their face, they're just like motivated. They want to do something now. They shout lions in the camp and they get a bit of energy. That's what this thing is about.
Something else I spoke to Tunde about with regards to the matchmaking, I don't want to dwell on it, but it's something that you've brought up. Are these guys challenging you? Your Tony Avalance, your Sex, you're blowing them away, you're making it look easy. Is it easy? Or are these guys actually challenging
Lions.
you?
Big guys. No.
When did Addy come back in? But are these guys challenging you? Do you feel that you're getting enough out of being matched against those guys to help you improve, or is it just the case of you're just making it look easy?
You said it in the end. I'm making it look easy. It don't mean that these things are easy. It's the fact of I'm making it look easy from the outside. When you're in there, this is what I say to people. When you're in the ring, you might see something different to what someone else sees. There's 4 judges. That's why sometimes you get a judge that sees the fight one way, you get another fight that sees the fight another way. Right now, every fight for me has been a good step up in progression in terms of a learning fight. Tony Avalon, he was a tall, rangy opponent. My first opponent that was very much taller than me, had a certain style of boxing. It took me 7 rounds to get him out of there. It's inevitable I hit hard. So a lot of people that don't last as long, they get caught with a shot early, they go down. This guy has such an awkward style I had to learn in the ring. I had to stay patient. I learned something new in the ring, staying patient. Stick to your job, it will happen. You're going to end up stopping him. Sek, I believe that's the last guy I fought. He was a tall, rangy southpaw. Again, took 7 rounds. I had to pick him apart in a different way. I don't believe in rushing, so I could have went in there and just started put my head down and swinging, but I don't think you learn like that. I learned something from that fight. I fought a guy that was never been stopped. Shokloka, very tough, come forward a lot, tucked him well. I learned something from that fight. So although on the outside it looks like I'm not getting hit, I'm throwing these shots, your brain's like a clockwork. You're consistently thinking in the ring. A lot of fighters don't know how to do that. They stick to what they know how to do. They put their head down, they start swinging, or you see them in tough fights. I think people's frustration is they haven't seen me in any tough fights yet. I don't want to use that word yet. I hope I'm never in a tough fight. That's what boxing's about, hitting and not getting hit. At the same time, I'm being fan-friendly. I'm getting my opponents out of there. One thing I've learned from boxing is that people are always going to be impatient. If you're boxing to perfection, you're going to get people, being impatient. They want to see a knockout. Floyd Mayweather. If you're flash and braggadocious, Roy Jones Jr. in his prime, people start not liking it, see you cocky and arrogant. Muhammad Ali, when he was in his prime, cocky and arrogant, even though he's being so entertaining. Mike Tyson, there's something negative to say about him, or he's got no defense. All these things. So they always have something to say about somebody that's doing well. I've realised this. Anthony Joshua right now, he's still, at a certain point in his career, but he hasn't done anything wrong yet. He got dropped, but he still won the fight. Not to every opponent except one, and that was his last fight. People still have something negative to say about him. He started boxing late. People still have something negative to say about him. Fighters in the past, there's always someone saying, he should have done things this way. Some people say, no, he's my favourite fighter. It's balance. That's one thing I've learned from life. Some people like you, some people don't. And without balance, you know, it's just not fair. You needs to be a negative, needs to be a positive. Same thing as batteries. That's just the way it works. So I don't really focus on anything negative. I understand it's there, but it's meant to be there. I only focus on the positive things.
Now, another fight that you were offered, Artur Beterbiev, he's now fighting somebody who you have also linked with, Callum Johnson, defends his IBF World Light Heavyweight title. Just your thoughts on that fight. I know you're not somebody who sits, I said this to Tunda, you're not somebody who sits up till 3 o'clock in the morning watching everybody's fights, but I'm sure you've seen a little bit of each guy. What do you make of that fight being made?
I'll be honest with you, I've only heard Beterbiev's name. And I think I've seen him a couple of times because people show me a picture of him. Actually, Ben from this gym showed me a picture of him because I don't actually know what he looked like. I've never seen him fight. And people might look at this and say, oh, you should be looking at these guys. But it's just the way I am. I don't really necessarily focus on anyone that... I don't even see the need to focus on these people. I'm focused on my own self and my own progression. When these guys are put in front of me, I'll say, okay, now you're my focus. I might see something you do or whatever. Callum Johnson, I never knew what he went to Olympics. I didn't know what he looked like until he fought Bugoloni, and that's because I just genuinely just said, you know, I want to watch the show. I think, you know, it's a good fight. You know, everyone makes their own decisions. He was at the Johnson was at the ring for a long time. Decided to go for a world title shot. Good on him. I don't wish anybody bad. I know he sang about his dad and whatever. For me, again, that's another success story. I hope he does well. I don't know Beterbiev and his story, but again, I hope they have a good fight and they both gain something from it. That's the kind of person I am. When I come to fight these guys, I'm rooting for myself. I want to do the best I can do, so it becomes the focus on myself and my life. But when I'm watching as a speculator, same thing as when I was watching the Kovalev and Bivol fighting on that weekend, I just want to see good fights. I hope it benefits both people. You don't know people's backstories. You don't know where they come from. You don't know what they need to feed their children or whatever. You don't know. So I just wish all fighters the best. I hope no one gets hurt and I hope it's an entertaining fight. So that's the same thing I'm giving the Johnson and Beterbiev fight. But at the same time, I'm only focused on my own career.
Now, as far as I'm aware, we're due to see you back in the ring at some time in October. Who can we expect to see you in the ring with? I understand you're not a matchmaker, I understand you're not a manager, but what represents a good fight for you now? As I understand, it's not going to be a world title in October. Don't know when that's going to be, but what represents a good fight for you as a fighter? Don't give me the it's my manager and my promoter's answer.
Again, I'm 100% real with you all the time. I'm 100% real with anyone all the time. I've been told sometimes, again, after interviews, to say, that's not your job to talk about that kind of stuff. You know, just stick to what you do, because these social people will try and stitch you up, etc. And but I've only been honest. Again, I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not a promoter. I'm not a manager. Right now, I have a say because of the way things are. I have a say if I want to step my opponent up or whatever. But at the same time, I don't focus on that because I understand. I got involved for one fight, yeah, who I was fighting, and it's so stressful. People turn you down, they agree to fight, and then they say, no, they come back and say, no, I want double the money. So I've seen how stressful that point is, and then I'm focused on who am I actually fighting? Should I train for this person? Anthony, just do your job. I'm talking to myself. Do what you want to do. Who would I be fighting in October? I don't know. I hope it is a step up. Hopefully it's someone with a name. Hopefully from what the fans want to see, and what I might want at this particular point is a British opponent, you know, someone that just makes sense for me right now. But honestly, I don't know. But again, it will be another fight. It won't be a world title fight, as you said. It will be a fight. Hopefully, I can learn something from, and I'm just on just continue to look good, keep winning, keep stopping my opponents, knocking my opponents out, and being entertaining.
Well, firstly, I'd like to think you don't think of me as somebody who's here to stitch you up.
No. That's your job.
Only respectful interviews here at Boxing Social. Okay, so that's interesting to me because obviously the talk has been over the last couple of years about domestic fights. Hosea Burton's, Frank Buglioni's, Callum Johnson's obviously got his world title fight. Who is left around that British level that would represent an interesting fight? As I understand it, the Buglioni fight is further away now than it ever has been. due to him losing to Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson's in a fight. Hosea Burton is probably the only sort of name that I recognise around that sort of level. Obviously, the Joshua Boazzi fight is something that's been spoken about, but for pretty obvious reasons, that's not really going to happen anytime soon. So who would it be if it's going to be British level in an ideal world? So what kind of opponents are left out of that pool?
To be honest, I don't know, because I don't know, like Jose Burton, Johnson. I knew Boazzi from before because of the Olympics, and Bugaloni I knew before because when I first started boxing, he was a super middleweight. He was with Frank. I went to watch a Frank show. He fought on that show against the super middleweight. I forgot his name. Trudinov. Groves stopped him. So by coincidence, I've come to know who them two people was, but because I don't focus on the light heavyweight scene in Britain, I wouldn't know who all the fighters are. I know Ricky Summers. He turned down a few fights with me. So again, them fights didn't happen. I know a few other British light heavyweights turned down fights with me. When they were ranked higher than me, they turned down fights with me. And even up to today, present, people are turning down fights with me who my management and promoter or whatever think will be good for me. There are some fights where people think that, no, that can grow, that can become something bigger. I'll be honest with you, with the Bugaloni fight, I feel like it would have pleased a lot of people. A lot of people wanted to see me fight him. I don't know why he went another route. I'll just be honest with you, I don't know why. But again, that's not my job to get involved in. He got offered a lot of peas, a lot of money. So I'm talking road. He got offered a lot of money at a time when it was gaining so much interest. He ended up fighting someone that knocked him out in the first round. That fight didn't get nowhere near as much attention as it would if it was me and him. So I didn't understand that decision. But again, not a matchmaker. But who would be good for me right now? I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know enough light heavyweights. I feel who would be good for me right now might be, I don't know, someone that's undefeated, you know, someone else that could be coming up. There's some opponents. I was meant to fight an undefeated guy from America. That fight didn't end up happening. Last minute he pulled up with contract issues. So again, it is frustrating for me. That's why I don't get involved in that stuff, because it can be frustrating. You want to fight someone, you're getting yourself, yeah, I'm fighting someone that's undefeated. Yeah, I'm hitting the bag extra hard. I'm training extra hard. And then 2 weeks before the fight, the guy don't fight no more, so you have to fight someone else. That can throw you off. Focus on yourself and do what you're doing. Stay sharp. Whoever's put in front of you, demonstrate, demolish, like smash, Hulk. That's my mentality.
So again, it's interesting that you would say that, because that's sort of what you want. You want undefeated, you want somebody who maybe can help you not build more of a profile, but a fight that gives a little bit more profile. That being said, if a fight comes that's not that, that's kind of what I was getting at earlier, that's what you want. If a fight that comes along that's not that, is that when you do get frustrated?
Not at all. This is what I'm saying about boxing, yeah? I've got to do my job. Do your job. Do your job, do your job, and then things work out. What a lot of fighters do, yeah, they focus on things that don't matter. They focus on someone they're not fighting. For example, Nathan Cleverly, Andre Ward. People are naming people, oh yeah, Andre Ward's the guy you need to look for. He's number one, you need to get to that position. Nathan Cleverly, he's British, he's world champion. That's a fight for you. You could win that world title, become a world champion. Both of them people retired. So now, there's no chance of me ever fighting them people. That's the way boxing works. And if I was focused on them people, now my dreams are crushed. Or, you know, I was focused on something for no reason. I wasted a lot of time. If I focus on myself now, I'm always going to be here. My generation of fighting is always going to be there. If I stick to if I'm winning, if I'm doing what I'm doing. Light heavyweights and boxers come out of nowhere. Sometimes someone might just come up, turn pro now, knock out everybody, take a lot of risky fights, knock out everyone, build a name quick. All of a sudden, this is the guy. Anthony Yarde, fight him. That's another fight that's built up. Everything is timing, and fights come. Dylan White and Anthony Joshua. Dylan White got banned from boxing. No one ever saw that fight being such a big fight. It just happened. Dylan White come back up out of nowhere. There was a storyline backlogged from them two. It ended up being a big fight for both of them. You never know what's going to happen in boxing. That's why I'm so patient. In the meantime, I focus on myself, and it will just happen. It falls into place.
Okay, well, just moving away from that, while you were in Philadelphia, I sent you a video on WhatsApp. I was having my hair cut. I know it's surprising looking at me that I actually have haircuts. My hairdresser, barber, she's a female barber. I don't know what the correct term is for that. So I wouldn't say hairdresser because I'm a state. She's a barber. Okay, so she told me that she knows 2 boxers. She said, both the good-looking Anthonys. Now, I'm sorry, Anthony Croller, if you're watching this, but she meant Anthony Joshua and you. So my barber knows 2 fighters. She knows Anthony Joshua, the unified heavyweight champion of the world, and she knows you. Now, what's that like for you? Your image and your profile has grown to a state that people who have no real interest in boxing know who you are. So what's that like for you now, considering you have had so many few fights and you are where you are in your career? I mean, you've not fought for a world title yet. My barber knows who you are. Tell me a little bit about that. What's that like? First of all, what was it like getting that video from me first?
The video, again, is always uplifting. I thank you for sending me kind of videos. Anything I can look at and smile or laugh or get a good feeling from, I'm happy with. So again, I thank you for that video. I literally watched it about 3 times. I think you said the woman fancied me or something like that, innit? So again, I find that funny, and you embarrassed her. I find them kind of things funny, you know, and again, it gives you good energy. So I always love things like that. It's refreshing. You know, there's a lot of people, there's world champions out there that no one knows. Like now, currently, there's world champions out there that nobody knows. Even in the boxing scene, people don't know they're world champions. Like, they don't know. Like, you go to a boxing show and it has to get built up through an undercard, because the undercard fighters are more known than the world champions. So sometimes it's about a package. Again, I have to just be thankful that my following is growing. Followings come from how you conduct yourself. Some people do it in a negative way, again, which I don't see as bad all the time. It's like WWE. When you get a good character, people buy into it. People want to be entertained. 6ix9ine right now, he's doing a lot of crazy things, but everyone now knows who he is because he's doing a lot of things commercially that people are interested in, or people repost, etc. You know, then you got someone like 50 Cent. He's doing a lot of things right now. You know, he says something, everyone reposts it because it's crazy. It's literally, I always revert it back to WWE, because that's when I found that WWE was fake. It's all based on personas and characters. It gives you more of an understanding of how the world is run. These music artists, boxers, they got personas that people buy into. If you see them when, like, 1 o'clock in the morning when no one's around them, or they're just with their family, they're different people. So again, it's always refreshing that people outside boxing are realising who I am. People that have nothing to do with boxing know who I am. And again, that's probably not an accident. That just comes about naturally. And yeah, I'm happy that I can, you know, flutter someone's boat.
Still made me pay for the haircut, mind. So, with that being said, are you different? Are you different away from the cameras when we're doing this thing here? Is there a different Anthony Yarde that we see on fight night or in the gym every day? You seem to me, basically what you see is what you get, but you know, that WWE persona style, is there any element to that of your personality?
Again, 100% honesty, not yet. And I say not yet because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Right now, there's been no need for me to. Things have progressed in the right way. Someone said to me the other day, do you see there being a lot of pressure put on you because a lot of people know who you are and you're not even a world champion yet? I said, no, not really. But again, if you study boxing, Mike Tyson, if you look at him early in his career, the type of person he was, watch his interviews in the beginning and then watch it 3 years later, you see a big difference. Mike Tyson later on was a persona, this aggression, I am Mike, baddest man on the planet. It became a persona that everyone bought into. But then really behind closed doors, he's a guy that tucked into his shell, was scared. The same guy that started off boxing, so listen to his promoter, listen to everyone around him that loved him, and he was just like, I just want to fight, you know, I just want to, you know, be brutal and give the fans what they want to see. And then again, it's like he formed into this great monster beast, and then when he retired again, he went back to being soft Mike Tyson. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to, you know, fight these caliber fighters and lose. I just want to do this to feed my family. He's gone back down to the mellow thing. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. You know, I got a chance to meet him, see him, be around him, talk to him, see how he is around his family and friends. And then when he goes on camera, the persona's there. Money made, Floyd, braggadocious, where's the money at? Because people buy into it. Whether they're saying negative things or positive things, people buy into it. Everyone reposts it. People talk about it. He buys a watch. Every social media outlet, World Star Hip Hop, everyone starts reposting it, so it keeps him relevant. These are things and marketing tools that people use to keep them relevant, keep them making money, keep money equals your family being supported, etc., depending on how your personality is. That's just how these things work. And when people start to understand that, you know, some people do it the dangerous way. Again, I'm bringing up 6ix9ine again because right now he's all over social media. World Star Hip Hop, he's always been posted on there because he's done a lot of dangerous things or crazy things, and he's always been reposted until he got robbed. He got robbed recently, you know, and then he done an interview afterwards saying, "I'll be honest with you, I was scared. Even though I've been talking all this rubbish, I froze, because that kind of position, I didn't expect it. I talk about all this gangbanging and stuff, but when it actually happened to me, I froze, you know, and I didn't know what to do. And then again, he's gone back to it now, being crazy. It's all persona and, you know, building yourself."
You mentioned your fans. I was actually speaking to somebody earlier. First of all, there was somebody who's come all the way from Ipswich to come and watch you train today. But we've also been visited today at Peacock's gym by some people who have come to to use, not use you, but to use you as an ambassador for a project they're working on. Why don't you tell me a little bit about, first and foremost, the bracelet that you've got on?
Oh yeah, come on. It says Team Isla. Again, causes like this always touch my heart. Just for, I don't know, do you mind me doing this?
No, of course not.
Try and follow all the social platforms, take a look at it, repost it, get involved in it. Basically, it's a 3-year-old girl. She's got cancer, but it's a unique, new type of cancer. And he was just explaining to me, you know, her condition, and if you meet her, she's so sweet, etc. And she's not living a normal 3-year-old's life. So again, great people like came in, asked me to sign a glove, took pictures or whatever, so they can auction it because they need to raise money to give her the treatment she needs. There's so much people around the world that have these things or suffer from these things, and then there's individuals doing the best they can to help. And again, it comes back down to what I'm doing. What I'm doing is right now, it's all positive. It's all motivation, application and dedication. You know, I'm building something that motivates people. You know, a lot of people message me and say, you know what, I'm overweight. When I watch your video in the morning and I see you smiling happy, or I hear you shout lines in the camp, I literally gain energy out of nowhere. I want to do something. You know, and them kind of things there, it can touch you emotionally because you're like, you see someone face to face and they you can tell they're insecure, yeah, and then they tell you, you know what, you've boosted my day. Heartfelt, you know, things like this with Isla. I'm helping a massive cause. You know, one of my good friends now, he's not even someone that I'm just making happy. I would like to say he's my little friend. A guy his parents named him Champ. His real birth name is Champ. It was his 18th birthday the other day. I couldn't make his party, but he loves me so much. He wanted his whole birthday to be based around Anthony Yarde. On his cake is a picture of me and him. His birthday outfit was my T-shirt. He wanted I came out to a song. He wanted that song to be played as his theme song for the night. I couldn't make it, so again, the type of person I am is, I knew how much he wanted me to be there. I couldn't make it. I had an event to go to. Not an event I wanted to go to, I had to go to. It was contracted. So again, within my own time, I took him bowling. Just me, him, and his mum and his dad. Them kind of things, and he was so happy. Like when they surprised him, he didn't know I was coming. He jumped up. He was like, Anthony, and you could see the excitement on his face. Them kind of things there. I don't care what negative people say about me or what I'm doing. It's them kind of things there that know that what I'm doing is worth it. Because literally, and his parents message me, "You made his day." You know, I say something I don't realize. I go cheese, like when I'm just excited or messing about. At the end of the night, he was going cheese, and I do like some little dance thing when I do this. Yeah, and I'm messing about. He was doing it, shouting cheese, little things like that. Heartfelt, and I didn't even mention it. He's got a disability. He just had his 18th birthday. And again, he's always shouting lines on the camp. And his parents say when he's in the gym and they're like, come on, champ, lines in the camp, he gets the energy, I know, and he carries on, he starts doing more. Little things like that. So no one can ever come and tell me anything negative when things like this are happening. You know what I'm saying?
How important is that to you? Because, I mean, I've referred to this in other interviews. The first time we did a proper long sit-down was Hackney Boxing Academy, which is, for anybody who doesn't know the work they do at the Hackney Boxing Academy, very, very worthwhile cause where they take sort of underprivileged youths from inner city areas and basically school them with boxing. And now, I mean, it looks like we've set this up with your eye. I think I knew that you had that there, but I mean, something that you didn't do on camera, something that this and the other. That's the first time I've heard of that. Didn't see it splashed all over social media. How important is that for you, and how grounded does that make you feel? Because you're somebody, and I know this from experience, you are in your bubble, try and get stuff out of you with regards to other fighters, and you're just not interested. You're in your bubble. When things like that come and not burst that bubble, but pierce that bubble and kind of let you know what's going on outside the Peacock gym, like, what does that make you feel like? How important is that to you?
I'll be honest with you, that's in my bubble. So things like the Isla thing that they're building now, this Isla Foundation, Champ, other people around the world, not only people that are like got disabilities or underprivileged or, you know, they're in poverty or anything like that, anybody, overweight, anorexia, mental issues, like mental health issues, anything, they're all in my bubble. Because they're the people that are motivating me, you know, family, friends, positive people. You give me interviews. All the positives are in my bubble around me, give me positive energy, motivating me. Anything negative is outside that bubble. So it's not only that I'm in my own little bubble, it's all the positive things that are surrounded in my bubble, giving me energy, helping me out. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. I'll be honest with you. Just like you, just like anybody. You get your days where I just want to sleep. I just want a chocolate bar. I just want to watch TV, put an episode of Power, watch that, and just chill out. And I'm like, oh, I didn't do my run today. Let me go for a run. Oh, I didn't go to the gym today. Let me go and do something. Let me just not be here all day. Them kind of things give me the energy. And then again, you're in the limelight. So you know, I've got a fight coming up in 2 months. I ain't got no choice but to do some hard work and train hard and, you know, go by what I'm shouting at every day, and that's lions in the camp. So I might be in bed, lions in the camp, and I'll get up. I'll make people jump all the time. Lions, people, what's wrong with you? I'm like, bruv, I need to work. A lion ain't got no choice but to go and hunt. No choice. No one's driving around just chucking them pieces of meat. They got to go and hunt. So that's the same thing with me. If you want something, you got to go and get it. I've got all the opportunities around me. You got to go and get it. You got to work for it. It's not going to get given to you. People say, that was handed to him. He's got a silver spoon or whatever. The silver spoon is not there because you have to go in the ring and have a raw fight. Don't matter. You got to go out there and work for it.
One thing that I actually forgot to, you just reminded me about it, something that Tundi told me, that you only need 4 weeks to prepare for a fight. Now I understand, I mean, it's something that's sort of the day of modern boxing really, where fighters are never, it's become less and less common that there are camps. People are often in the gym ticking over, you're always in tremendous shape. But still, to me, that seems strange for somebody who's number one in the world with the WBO, sort of seemingly knocking on the door of a world title shot, to only have 4 weeks. Tundi told me that won't change even if you are fighting for a world title. I'm sure you agree with it, otherwise you wouldn't do it. But just tell me a little bit about that process. Why is it different for you in a sense that you can prepare for an opponent in 4 weeks, whereas you see fighters who have 13, 14-week training camps? Why is that different?
I need 2 weeks. Today's a sport, I say I need 2. I'm a machine, literally, mechanical machine. And a mechanical machine, all you need to do is oil it a bit, check everything's in place, and then it's ready to go on the road. It gets approved to go on the road, be sanctioned to go on the road. No, I'm joking. Tunde would say 4 weeks, I would say, just like every other fighter, 6. And that's for me to say, I'm ready for anyone in the world right now. I'm telling you now, I could probably fight in 3 days from now. The only reason Tunde said 4 weeks is because I'll do like a 3.5, 4 week diet to get the weight in the right way. So that's the only thing that changes. My fitness is always there. I'm always pushing myself in the gym. My strength is always there. I've got a mentality literally of a lion. Lions in the camp. So I've always got that thing of, progression. I'm in the gym now, even after this interview. I've been there for like 2 hours now, hour or something, doing this interview, speaking to someone else that was here, outside speaking to Ade, Tunde. But at the end of the day, my focus is on training. Right now I'm thinking about little things I'm going to be doing in training because that is my life. Sometimes I'm out with my friends. We're doing something, we're all having fun. Do you have to go training tomorrow? Yes. Then things get dead serious. I do have to go training tomorrow. Yeah, but you're fighting. I'm going training tomorrow. You carry on this conversation, you can leave my life alone because you're bringing negativity to me. You need to be motivating me to go training, not, do you need to go training? Can we do this instead? Them kind of people I don't need around me. So yeah, it's that kind of mentality. And this is, again, I always result, because this is something I'm passionate in, is kids saying, I didn't do well on my GCSEs. Why not? You didn't do well on your GCSEs because you was focused on other things. It don't matter how low your curriculum is. I didn't do that well on my GCSEs. But I will openly say I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't focused on it. And you always have to see the positive in things. I didn't get to where I wanted to get in football because that wasn't my calling. I was thinking about boxing. Even though I was playing football, I love playing football, but that's a hobby to me. Basketball is a hobby to me. I love, today, I'm going to train and then go roller skating. I like roller skating, it's fun. You go there, dance, you might fall over a couple of times, don't matter. But again, that's fun. I'm not going to go and say I'm going to be a roller skater. But when I was playing football, when I was doing all these things, I was thinking about boxing. I was on a football pitch, shadow boxing. I've never boxed before, but I was so intrigued in it. I used to watch a lot of Mike Tyson. I'd done a little bit of boxing training, so I thought I was a boxer. I was in the mirror going, making all the noises, not knowing what it was for, but So again, that's what my focus was on. Whatever you're focused on and you're thinking about all the time and you're putting 100% effort into, that's what you're going to succeed in. So that's what I told these young kids. I'm like, stop making excuses. Stop telling me about I didn't do well in my GCSEs because you was up playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. So don't tell me about your GCSEs. My niece, I've drilled this into her. She got, I can't remember how much it was. She got something like 5 A stars and like 1 A and like 2 Bs or something like that. That's the best grade, apart from my mum, that's the best grades anyone's ever got in my family. And exams are getting harder, and I'm so proud of her. I told her she can have anything she wants. I'm not the richest guy in the world yet, so she tells me she wants a car. I don't know. But I told her she can have anything she wants. Just you can think about it, tell me what you want, because I'm so proud of her. You get what I'm saying? Because I know my mentality at that age, and it was not, I'm going to do well in my GCSEs. So again, I respect that. And again, she's motivated me, again, to work harder in the gym. To come and say, you know what, I want to be as focused and determined on boxing as she was in her exams. I want A stars in my boxing. Do you get what I'm saying? So it always reverts back to motivating the next generation. When I do have children, my children looking up to me and said, you know what, my dad is a good man. Look what he's done with his life. And them knowing my story and say, well, there's no excuses. My dad done this. My dad grew up in this area and made something of himself. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Last question from me. It's a last question, but I'd like you to try and be as detailed as possible with it. You're huge for 175 pounds. Look at him. Big fella. First part of the question, how easy or difficult is it to make weight for you?
It's so easy in terms of if I do the right things, if I do what I know I'm meant to do, the weight comes off so easily and naturally. Because I'm not naturally a cruiserweight or heavyweight. I'll be honest with you right now. My body hasn't formed into that yet. The biggest jump in boxing is light heavyweight to cruiserweight. It's over a stone. And every other weight, there's pounds in between. So my decision was, do the light heavyweight because I want to go up a few weight classes over my career. Now, if I do everything right, I'll stick to my diet. Training how I'm meant to be training. I don't get stressed out. People don't understand stress makes you put on weight. I don't get stressed out. My weight comes off easy. I end up underweight. On the way in there, I'm under the weight. People are like, how the hell is this guy 175 pounds or 173 pounds? How? Look at the size of him. And then, sometimes I'll have to be honest with myself. It's been hard me making a weight in terms of me staying focused and doing what I'm meant to be doing. Meaning I might get stressed out a bit and say, I don't care, I'm eating today. I'm eating the wrong things today. I'm not eating my natural good foods. I don't care, I'm having a burger. I'm having a Tropicana juice. I'm having this, I'm having that. I don't care, man, I'm training tomorrow. It's all mental. If you stick to what you're meant to be doing, which again is part discipline, part what you let yourself get involved with. I always say to people, whether it's weight goals, whether it's anything you want to do, it's about what you're meant to do, but are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And literally, it's definitely not hard when I do the right things, how I know I'm meant to do it. But everyone's human. Everyone gets their little urges. They say that there's always a devil on one shoulder and then there's the positive God on that shoulder. And which one are you swaying towards? And that's literally how my weight making goes.
So is that kind of another part of your development then? That not allowing yourself to get stressed and frustrated and potentially do things during fight week that you're not supposed to do. I try and explain this to people sometimes. When it's at the very, very top level of boxing, the tiniest little percentages can make a massive difference. So is that kind of the areas that you need to look at and improve as somebody who isn't as experienced as, other fighters are?
100%. What people need to understand, is how much times have I been in the ring? How much times have I made weight? How much times have I gone 6 rounds, 7 rounds? How much time? So these things are called experience. And how much professional fights have I had? 16. How many of them did I have to make weight the day before? 12. How much times did I have to make the weight on the day? However many was left, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4. How much times did I not make the weight and have to go and take off some weight? So once. So again, the one time I had to go and take off some weight, or the 2 times I left it a bit late and didn't feel as strong as I should have felt, that was all experience. As in my last 2 fights, I've been on tip top. I've been on, I know I did it right. The day before I felt strong, I was nice, this, that. There was a fight when I had an abscess toothache, the Barani fight when I won the WBO European title. That was an experience. I had to mentally, if you know what abscess toothache is, or if you go on Google and then they tell you about the pain threshold you need to have to deal with an abscess toothache, it's an infection in your tooth, in your brain. That's what it feels like. Your whole body goes mad. And I had a fight with that. You can't take your antibiotics. You can't do all these things until after the fight. I had to tune in mentally and deal with that. So again, that's all experience. Trust me, I keep telling people, don't focus. And if I focus on other people, I might have rushed, and then that fight against Barani might have been against someone else, or it might have been a tougher fight. I might have come out of there, ended up in a tough fight, battered, bruised, or when I broke my hand in my second fight, that experience, learning how to deal with if you got an injury during the fight, that might have been at a later point in my career, not knowing how to deal with it, but I went through it at the time where I had the beating of that opponent, even with the one hand. So that's experience. Experience plays a big part in some cases.
Just last question on that. Talk to me a little bit about the 24 hours before you make weight and what you have to do to make weight, and the 24 hours after you make weight, what you have to do to replenish. As you can probably tell by looking at me, I don't have a lot of weight making to do. I'm definitely not, but thank you very much. Tell me a little bit about that. How much weight do you have to get off? What do you do to get that weight off? And then what do you do to get it back on and make sure you're rehydrated into the ring? Because I think a lot of boxing fans don't quite understand what fighters have to go through, first of all, to make the weight, and second of all, to enter the ring healthily. So just tell me.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I know you probably really want this question, but if you notice, a lot of fighters don't talk about their weight making process. I don't know if that's because they want the edge, but I'm an energy person and I don't feel like I should talk about that. All I do say to people is I don't struggle to make the weight. You can tell that by my physique, my skin You know, you can tell a fighter when you're looking at him, you're like, oh, his skin looks dry. So you know he's done madness to make the weight. His skin looks dry. He looks like he's got no energy. He's dragging his feet. I'm energetic on my weigh-ins, apart from a couple of times where I know I've done the wrong things. But partly that might be the edge I've got, and some of these light heavyweights are massive for the weight, and I do it right. So I don't feel like I should talk about that. That's just energy-wise. That's because I don't feel to. I always go by how I feel. Should you go for this one today? My energy's telling me no. Should I go for this one today? I know I should, but I don't want to, so I'm gonna, because I know I should. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't. You need your rest. You've worked hard this week. Do your training tomorrow and run tomorrow. It's all about how you feel, and I don't feel like I should talk about my weight making process. You know, I will say that I'm not going to talk about it. Again, it's all energy. It's how I feel. And in every interview I've done, people talk about how much weight do you take off? How much weight do you put back on? How do you make your weight? I just don't feel like I'm meant to talk about it. Train hard.
Well, I think that's the first time you've ever not answered a question that I've asked you. So I'll let you off. Anthony. But no Five Guys after weigh-in?
You know what? This is one thing I will tell people. After my weigh-in, I just eat how I would normally eat. How I normally eat is burgers, but again, at the same time, you know, because you have been eating clean for however long, if you do go and have a Five Guys burger, which is a lot of oil in it, etc., it might impact your body in a way that's negative, because your body might be seeking the same kind of nutrition it's been having. So if I go and have a Five Guys burger, I might feel sluggish the next day, which is common sense. A lot of fighters know this already. So I will just stick to the kind of foods I've been having. Might have a bit more of it, might have, you know, a natural juice, I don't know. I might add in something a bit extra, but I won't go overboard and shock my body, which is common sense. I try not to just, you know, overshock my body. Even with going into my diet, I go into it, there's a process. I would say really and truly, what I need is like 2 weeks to make the weight, but I believe in getting your body used to changing. So your body will be like, I know what time it is. Okay, you need to be lying, you need to get in shape. It's not about shocking your body at any time.
Okay, well maybe you can share some weight cutting things with me afterwards. Mr. Anthony Yarde, I told you I wasn't going to keep you here as long as Tunde. I think we might be pushing it. Do apologise.
I'm here, B. You know, as I said, Boxing Social, like you always give me nice interviews. I feel like I'm just having a conversation. I forget the camera's there, and you know, when we're having a conversation like this, I cut some interviews short because they're just talking about a load of negativity and nonsense I don't really want to talk about. But these kind of interviews, we're talking about a lot of positivity. We're talking about great causes like this, which I'm going to bring up again. Isla, we're talking about, you know, man like Champ, and you know, other people around the world that are just boosting and being positive. And again, it's not about not about their race. It's not about their religion. It's not about their culture. It's them as human beings. And that's something I feel like we need to get back into our heads. It's about being a human being. 9 out of 10 people, if they see something bad happening on the street, regardless of the colour of that person, they will feel a way about it if it's negative. If they see it with their own eyes, they'll feel a way about it. So that's what it's about, man. Staying positive, motivating each other, you know. Application, dedication, motivation. Lions in the cup. You jumped again. You jumped. See, everyone's looking in the gym. You know what time it is. But it's not training.
I could see it about to burst out of you, and I was kind of wondering when it was coming, but it still surprised me. Mr. Anthony Yarde, the beast from the East, Lions in the camp. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Got to do the handshake.
Come on, you know how it goes.
Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Love always, Lions in the cup. You know the set.